Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Mapmaker, the gerrymandering game. This is a Kickstarter project that is coming July 10th, 2018. At least that's what the Facebook event is advertising. And as such, because this is a prototype, everything that you're about to see is subject to change. I couldn't flatten out this board to save my life. I tried. These are just simply wooden, really thin wooden discs here with numbers on them. The box itself, example, it's just a wooden board with, I think these are just glued on, these little pictures. And the developer was nice enough to hand write me a letter to go along with this, but I tore the tape down and ended up tearing the front of the board. So yeah, nothing against the developer. I'm just simply saying prototype components. I'm going to assume that the final version, if it gets funded, will look a lot nicer than this. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So what is this game all about? Well, first of all, what does it support? Well, it supports 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, and the average play time is 30 to 45 minutes. It's a political-themed game, but it doesn't get very political. It's sort of like an advanced version of Dots. I don't want to say that the game is exactly like Dots, because Dots is fairly simplistic. It gets a little cutthroat, yes, but this game has a lot more going for it than that. In Dots, what you would do is you keep drawing lines until you're the last one to close off a box. And if you're the last one to close off a box, you put your little score, circle, whatever in there, and the person with the most of those at the end of the game wins. You're sort of doing the same thing here. The board starts with all of these tokens already on it in a randomly generated, people just throw tokens on here, and then they flip them over, and this is what you get. In a 2-player game, you use the light green hexes here. They're called counties. In a 3-player game, you're going to use these gray ones. And in a 4-player game, you're going to use everything, including these dark green ones along the outside. If you've ever played Ingenious, there's a very similar system at play there. 2 players, you only use the middle. 3 players, you sort of use some of the outside. 4 players use everything. Same thing here. So what you're going to be doing in this game, and let me show you what the components consist of real quick. You've got this board, which is a mat right now. You've got these voter tokens. They're different numbered here. They're numbered 1 through 10. There's also a neutral one, valued at 0. And you've got these 28 district markers, 7 per party. I call them scoring tokens. Whenever you close off a district and you have the most points in that district, you simply put one of your tokens on it. Okay? And these are the ones that I didn't use. There's blue and green. Okay, I'm going to put them off to the side. So, yeah, what is this game all about? Well, you're going to be basically sort of like Dots. You're going to be trying to close off the entire board in some way. And if you have the most of your number in a district when it is closed, you score. You put a token on that district and you score. You get a point. At the end of the game, when everything is closed off and everything is separated into districts, then whoever has the most of these will win the game. It's pretty simple. There are some tiebreakers involved. I don't want to get too detailed because I am putting together a written article that goes into a bit more detail, and I don't want to cover, content in both places and repeat myself when I don't have to. This is more of a visual component to the written article. So anyway, the first player will put down one of these. These are like little borders. And the second player will put down 2 of these, and the next player will put down 3, and then finally, from there on in, every player puts down 4 at a time. And these are like little borders. And again, a district, there's a few rules when you talk about districts. I'm not going to get into all of them, like I said, but basically a district has a minimum of 4, okay? But if it can be split into, like, let's say you've got, actually, I'll just do an example for you real quick. And again, because this isn't exactly flat, this is going to be the messiest border that you'll ever see. But let me go ahead and try and illustrate as best I can. Oh God, there we go. Yeah, I hope that the developers of this game will be making an actual board instead of a mat, because this mat does not like to flatten out for me whatsoever. Okay, and I apologize in advance here, folks. Apologize. Okay, so we're going to do something like that. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now, the question that now this looks like the district because it's completely closed off, right? Well, it's not. If this section could be split off into groups of 4, then it's not considered a district. So, for example, I could do let's do that, and then that there. Okay, now you can't put borders on the outside of the board, okay? So this would be considered district. You've got 4 here and 4 here. Obviously, red has overkill here. This is just an example. But because this is now closed off, red would put one of his scoring tokens on that. And in this case, there's 7, 2, 10, that's 19, versus red's 5. Yellow would get 1 here. So it's going to continue like that around the, players taking turns, putting these borders down, trying to get the most of their number in a particular district when it is closed off. And again, whoever has the most at the end of the game will win. That is the general gist of it. I skipped over a lot of stuff, but that is the crux of the game. If you want to learn more, there is a written article, like I said, that will be in the description below. There'll be a link to it. So I just wanted to quickly offer my thoughts on this. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with this game. I mean, the components are okay. They're not great, but prototypes are prototypes. I deal with them all the time. So don't worry about what you're looking at here. This is more just to give you an idea of what it looks like. Here's a nice looking picture in the back of the box that does the game better justice than I ever could here. So this is what that looks like. This is what a game, you've got your borders here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Red won that because 2, 5 is 7. Yellow has 3, blue has 3, so he won that one. You've got 3 and 6 here, and there's 5 and 2 here. That's 7. This is 9, so green won that one, and so on. Again, there are tiebreakers involved. The one with the ones are swing states. Those factoring with tiebreakers. But yeah, it's a really cool idea. And what I like about it, it's politically themed, but you don't have to be politically correct and you don't have to be politically savvy to play this game. Like, okay, I've played a few political games in my time that I was uncomfortable playing because it talked about Democrats and Republicans, and I'm like, I don't know anything about politics, to tell you the truth. I have my own opinion on politics, and I'm not going to get into that here. But this is nice because it could have been themed anything. I mean, gerrymandering is, if you look gerrymandering up on the internet, dictionary, whatever, it's the act of systematically and strategically splitting places up to a particular person's advantage. Wiki says it a lot better than I do, obviously. But anyway, you get the general idea. That's exactly what you're doing in this game. But I like it because it could have been themed anything, and it works just fine. It works just fine as a political theme, too. Another game I used to play a lot, I'm not good at it, it's Twilight Struggle. There you're talking about the Cold War. You've got, the U.S. versus the USSR. You've got, all these different cards. It's complex, let's just put it that way. And it opens the door for so many discussions, good or bad. This is the kind of game that you can sit down with your family and not worry about, yelling at your kid, what do you mean you voted for blah, blah, blah? Or, you're not going to have to worry about that here. This is a family-friendly, anyone can play kind of game. If you're playing with this, a group of adults, it might open the door for some political discussion, but honestly, if it were me, I grew up, don't bring money or politics to the dinner table. That's just how I play. However, if you're adults and you are able to have an intelligent and mature conversation about such things, this game might kind of sort of open the door to such things. I mean, you've got different animal shapes. You've got the elephants, and you've got I think there's a donkey on here too. Yeah, here's the donkey, and here's the elephant. So yeah, I mean, they do represent certain parties, kind of, sort of, but it's not too politically themed where you're forced to observe politics if you don't want to. Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, this game is coming on July 10th, 2018 on Kickstarter. So if you like what you see here, head on over to the Kickstarter page. Hopefully I'll remember to put a link in the below description after the fact. It's in a couple of weeks, I think. So yeah, this is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.